This is a presentation video of the subject of DEE10013, and my name is Edison Chia Ilong with the matrix number of 07DEE21F2006. And in this presentation video, I'm going to explain how to measure resistors with a multimeter. So first off, before we test anything, we should connect the positive probe to the positive side, which is the red wire, and the negative probe to the negative side, which is a black wire. And there is 4 resistors here. The ohm value for these resistors are 30 ohm, 300 ohm, 3000 ohm, and as well as 30k ohm. So before we start measuring the resistors, we have to measure if the meter is pointing at 0. So in this case, I'm pointing here and it's currently not at 0. So we are going to use a screwdriver to adjust and turn it to 0. There we go. It is now at 0. And now we can start measuring. So we can start measuring the resistor now. So the first resistor that we will be using is the 30 ohm resistor. And before we start measuring, we have to change the range value to times 10. And also, the meter is already pointing at the maximum value. So we can now start measuring the resistor. It's currently pointing at 2.8. So therefore, it will be 2.8 times 10, and it will be 28 ohms. But in this case, this is the 30 ohm resistor, and the meter is pointing at 28, which means the error will be right here. And so now we are going to measure the second resistor, which is the 300 ohm resistor. And in this case, we are going to use the 100 range value. And also, before we start measuring, I have already measured it to the maximum value. And now we can start measuring. So in this case, it's pointing at 2.8. So the calculations will be 2.8 times 100. But since it has an error, because it's a 300 ohm, therefore the error percentage will be shown here. So now we are going to start measuring the third resistor. So in this case, we will be using the 1000 range value, and check if it's at the maximum. It's currently at the maximum, and now we can start measuring. Alright, it's pointing at 2.8. Therefore, the value will be 2.8 ohms times 1000, and you will get the 2800 ohms. And in this case, it will have the error percentage of calculations right here. Finally, the last resistor that we will be using is the 30k ohm resistor. And now, we have to change the value to 10k, range value to 10k, and change the maximum range to 0. And now, we are going to try and test if it's at the same value. As you can see, this one is also pointing at 2.8 ohms. Therefore, 2.8 ohms times 10k, it will get the 28k ohm, and the error percentage will be counted right here.